But yeah, it seems like the higher vices of society has pretty much changed the overall aspect of what dating is. And what I mean by that is like the higher government has pretty much changed the echelon of dating for the most part. And like if you look back like towards like the 1950s, around that time, that's pretty much like, and even if you look towards like the industrial revolution, like a lot of people say, like when they took like men out of the household, it's kind of changed the aspect of what the world is as far as like society. Like it's changed the idea of what like the nuclear family was. So like naturally, like the whole realm of dating has changed for the most part afterwards, and like the attraction of men and women. With the rise of feminism and this and that, and just like the government got too involved with the household. So like that's what split everybody up, and it created this new vice of social hierarchy. You know what I mean? And like it kind of just ripped apart everything. And now it's gotten to a point nowadays with technology, the government's technology, where dating's completely obsolete now. You know what I mean? It's totally played out. You got porn websites. Most of those porn websites are government owned. Believe it or not, I bet they are. You know what I mean? Most of these porn websites and stuff, they're totally government owned. And like it's more the government getting involved. The government got way too involved in personal life. And just like it gotten way too involved in like the basic ideology of what like a nuclear family is for the most part, and it ruined men and women, with abortion and this and that. And it just got crazy after that. But yeah, it gets crazy. Like the way the world has changed because of the government, because of their influence. It hasn't really made the world any better per se. And like honestly, like it's just gonna keep on going that way. Like if you think about it, because like I said in my last video, like most men, they're not winning today. Even if they think they are, they're not. Because if you think about it, the government every single, has every single channel of what a man's life entails to be successful. And what I mean by that is a marriage, kids, family, custody. It just goes on and on and on. And it's like the reason why men aren't winning today, it's because the government has made us a controlled substance. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's why nobody's really dating anymore. That's why nobody's really together like that. Because of government influence and societal influence. So it's like you're never really going to have, any type of stability without government influence. Or you'll never have any stability with government influence. And it's like inevitable. So I don't know. Like it's a crazy world today, the way it's changed. And like I said, like a lot of women, they're looking for vanity nowadays, and they're looking for loyalty. But if you look within the regards of what that vanity is, it all has to do with the government. The money we make, how we spend it, what we do with it. Houses, cars, all the materialistic things the government has gotten their hands on, and they made it work for them in sort of a way where the whole ideology behind human breeding has become nowhere but beneficial to just the higher echelons of society. And what I'm talking about is like the government and yeah, just the government. You know what I mean? And also the other companies and corporations that surround them. You know what I mean? So taking your girlfriend out to eat or like something like that, like it's all a controlled substance. And it's all meant to drain the man's pockets at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So it's like more companies make more, if you think about it, more companies, they monetize off relationships failing more than productive relationships. And like you're gonna see a lot more relationships fail than succeed because of the way the world is. The influence, the music you listen to, the movies you watch, just like all of it. If you think about it, it's all pretty much indoctrinated monetization for the most part. Like that's like the whole idea behind it. And like when you step outside of the world and actually take a look, it's like that's exactly what's going on. You know what I mean? And like I said, it all has to do with the Industrial Revolution back then, since they split the man from the household, the woman from the household, with feminism and everything. It was their idea to do it. And then eventually deliver birth control and abortion rights and this and that. It became like this demonic regime overall. And it's pretty much just, I don't know, it's ruined the way the world has become. It's literally cooked how the paradigm has shifted as far as procreation goes. You know what I mean? And like at the end of the day, like you backtrack all of the money and the economic trail that it left behind, and you can see the truth. Like you can see the idea of where the indoctrination comes from. You know what I mean? And it's all government sustained at the end of the day. You know what I mean? As long as they split the men and women up, the more money that they make. You know what I mean? If you think about it, in hindsight. Because think about it, it's almost like cancer, for example. You're not going to monetize off the cure. You're going to monetize off the constant treatment. I.e. chemotherapy. Same thing with this. Like, same thing with the dating apps. Like, you can never actually meet somebody because now there's always option B. You know what I mean? There's always option B. And, like, that's in a lot of females' heads nowadays. I think that's why a lot more women are on dating apps more than men. And I think that's 100% true because it's just like the way the world's been structured. It's been put off to a point where everything nowadays is just materialistic and everybody's doing what everybody else is doing. So it's like you can't really make any originality there as far as that society goes. And it just gets worse and worse and worse. And this is just like my experience from just dealing with the dating market today. Like you could tell it's all bought. It's all bought and it's all a profit. The more people that are on dating apps, the more that they profit off of it. The more people are lonely. You know what I mean? It's the same ball game. But it seems like the only people that really benefit are the single people. Because like they just don't buy into it. But if you ask me though, I really do. I think the dating market's been completely monetized. And like we become like these mice in the maze that make the penny double for the government. It's just another thorn in our side as far as human existence goes. Among other things that's being schemed over. But like I said, it just gets bad. It really gets bad at this point, man. And it just gets bad. And then next thing you know, you see your girlfriend online posting her ass on the internet. That's just how it goes. Like, you could have the most loyal girl at one point, and she could turn into a Saturday night stripper the next because she was let down by a certain guy. That's just the way the world works, and like that's how they profit off. That's how they profit. You know, with the OnlyFans, with this, with that. At the end of the day, it's all government monetization, and they do it by objectifying men and women. That's just like the overall idea. But no, I am trying to date though. Nowadays I am, but it's tough. It gets tough, man. Like I said, most men, they aren't winning today. Cuz like I said, the government is, it's become lucrative off of people losing in life. So you can never really get to where you want to be. Especially as a man. Like you can't. Even if you try to, like you're if you try to succeed in this life, you're just walking yourself into your own personal prisons. And like it just becomes like this downfall effect the more you try to succeed in life. It seems like the American dream and the ideas behind it have just become like these personal prisons. But yeah, that's the video, guys. Let me know down in the comments below. Do you think I'm crazy? Or do you think I actually have a point about this, and that, yeah, men and women actually have become like this fixed ideas in society that the higher echelons of the world monetize off of, just to keep us all dumbed down and divided. I'll see you in the next one.